What would you say is the biggest gaming flop from recent memory? Concord. I know you said Concord, don't lie. That game died like a week after release. Like, fully. No one wanted another hero shooter. Okay, we had Rivals and Overwatch, we don't need another one. And Concord did nothing unique enough to stick around. Especially not for like the $60 price tag or whatever the fuck they were charging. Well, Concord, even with all that controversy and hate, had a player count peak around 700 people? The game we're talking about today had 250 during a free weekend. King of Meat is Amazon's first real shot of entering the big-time gaming market. It's a party-based dungeon crawler in the theme of a game show. Your goal is to get the highest score possible with your posse and become the King of Meat. Even if you're a chick, you will be the King of Meat. Sounds like a basic but great premise, right? It could be fun. 9 players in the past week. On Steam, the game had 9 players in the past week. Most games only had 1 player. Do you want to know who that was? My dumbass. So, let's take a deep look at this game and figure out what went wrong. Alright, so there's somehow a lot I want to talk about and nothing I want to talk about. It's hard to explain. I find this game so interesting on the way it failed, but I don't know what to say about it. I'll start with the basic gameplay loop. You and up to 3 other chaps raid dungeons in the hunt for fame and fortune. You can get and keep a score multiplier by slaying enemies, breaking shit, and finding treasure in hidden chests, and holy shit, it's just Mafia 3, isn't it? Anyways, you try to get as high as a score possible so then you can get that sweet gold trophy at the end. The game has 4 types of levels: puzzle, dungeon, combat, and platformers. Puzzles are pretty self-explanatory. You have to solve a handful of different puzzles to progress through the level. If you somehow complete the 4th grade levels first try, you get rewarded like the good boy you are. There's usually not a lot of combat in these, with only a couple skeletons or bomb rushers in each area at most. And that will lead me into combat dungeons. They are, as the name suggests, combat based. Usually it's just you going from one area to another, getting rushed by waves of enemies until you pass the finish line. There's only about 5 enemies in the game. Usually they have different variations, but there's 5 main ones. The main foe you'll face is the Humble Skeleton. Equipped with a sword and a positive attitude, they are the most basic guy we face in the game. They die in only a couple hits and do little damage to you. Sometimes they'll have shields you need to break with a heavy attack, or have some football gear on that acts the same as armor would, but the latter doesn't really do much for them. Then you have these knight guys, who are the most annoying fuckers in the game. They have a shit ton of health and pack one hell of a punch. In particular, their spin move thing is the most irritating thing of all time, because you usually get stun locked in their attacks and they just kill you basically immediately. There's a couple of long range enemies in the form of a crossbow skeleton, a crossbow knight, and this little drone thing that shoots fire at you. Like I said before, the knights are annoying, so they're the worst out of the bunch. Sometimes on some levels, these tiny bomb rushing guys, basically they're just suicide bombers, will rush you and insta-kill you. If you hit them, a timer will go and they'll automatically explode on their own, but if you don't, they will wait to get into your proximity and then explode. Finally, there's this ogre who basically is just like the final boss in the dungeons. Not everyone has one, but a lot of them do. These guys are equipped with a comedic amount of health and Dumbo cartoon-esque smashing attacks. I'd find myself taking upwards of 5 minutes just battling these guys, depending on the area and resources I found in said area. Combat dungeons are the ones that usually end with these guys. Platformers are platformers. You jump on things. These usually aren't the most annoying things of all time, but if it's a spike-based one, those suck because the spikes hitboxes, they do not work half the time. They will hit you when you are nowhere even close. Finally, we have dungeons, which are basically just a combination of all the different types put into one big level. These will typically have a particular theme, such as like pirates or like a medieval village. They're cool, I guess. Probably my least favorite out of the bunch, mainly just because there's not a certain focus to them, but they can still be fun. The game also has a solo campaign-ish mode, where they teach you how each of your weapons work and how all the different types of traps will operate in the mainline dungeons. Typically, these are boring and don't really add anything that the online dungeons won't outside of the prior knowledge of what the things do. But like from a level design aspect, they're boring. The weapons you can fight with aren't anything to write home about. Nothing special. The melee weapons I unlocked were just a basic sword and shield, a heavy hammer, which is the worst weapon to use in any game ever made. I hate it so much. It's so slow. It does no damage. It is garbage.
It's beautiful.
Brass knuckles, which just makes you Spider-Man from the PS4 game, and Jimi Hendrix guitar. My favorite and most practical weapon is the Brass Knuckles. I wasn't lying earlier, they literally just steal the moveset that Spider-Man has in his recent games. You basically teleport from one enemy to another, you can launch them up into the air and hit them with a fury of punches, and you also get this little mini long-range attack thing, which does basically no damage, but it can stun them. Similar to like how the webs work, from what I remember. I don't know, it's been a while. Oh yeah, also, the guitar is useless because it's supposed to be a support weapon to boost your teammates. While it does damage, the main use is it's a support weapon. Sounds great, but you can't ever find games with people in them, so it really renders it pointless. Along with your primary weapon, you get to carry around a long-range weapon. There's a few in the game, but I only got to unlock 2 of them from my 15 hours of game time. I only ever used one. I got a crossbow and a bomb launcher. The crossbow is just plain out bad. It does almost no damage to any of the enemies and takes so long to reload. And then we have the bomb launcher, which basically does the same amount of damage, but it has an area of effect, so you can hit multiple enemies at once. I use the bomb launcher. On top of your weapons, you can also equip a few special moves called glory moves. Basically, they're just like little Marvel Rivals type abilities that sit on cooldown once used. You can get stuff like a juice box that heals you, an exploding hot potato, or even equip yourself with a foghorn scream that disorients your enemies. You can start to unlock them within like the first hour of the game, and you get them from this absolutely stunning Plague Doctor. I would go to war for her. Throughout your leveling up, you get better and more interesting glory moves. These glory moves are particularly useful in the combat levels, because it gives you a second to relax and gather your bearings before you're being swarmed by about 700 skeletons again. Similar to the guitar, a couple of these moves really utilize having teammates. An example of this is how the hot potato grows bigger and bigger every time you pass it to a fellow contestant. But as I said previously, no one plays this, so it never works as it is intended to. Yeah, that's kind of like all the gameplay summed up. What else? You can equip one-time perks that do like nothing and are extremely useless. There's sometimes hidden chests around the maps that you can find, and you can upload your own dungeons and get like 4 people to play on them. I really don't like the character customization in this game. That's nothing really sticking out to me. I honestly think that the basic basketball jersey you get as your default top is one of the best pieces of clothing in the whole game. You can get some more unique customization from this wolf guy by using tickets. This is basically a mini battle pass which is completely free, thankfully. There's multiple pages of cosmetics which you need to unlock within a given window of time. You get tickets by participating in daily and weekly challenges, which are typically more fun than the normal pre-made dungeons, especially the races. Those are the best. King of Meat has a decent soundtrack, I guess. It's not common that you find a game of OSC which focuses mainly on trap bangers that sound like they belong in an Arby's commercial, but that's exactly what the game does. I think the music fits the fast-paced tomfoolery that King of Meat has packed into it, with all the blaring trumpets and banging 808s. The only thing I think it's missing is some loots and maybe some like Mongolian chants. I think that would really capture the medieval aesthetic that the game has. Whilst repetitive, the gameplay loop is actually quite fun, with each run only taking about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I only really started getting bored with the game because of how dead it was. The game is made to be played with other people, and when the game only has about 4 people playing across both PC and console, it's kinda hard to find a match. A good amount of the levels will have an optional section that requires 2 or 3 people to complete, and obviously, you can't do it solo because it needs 2 or 3 people to complete. This was probably added to encourage online play with other people and build up a community for the game. It would also make sense with the community level maker stuff, but boy did that backfire on Amazon. I'll get to that in a second. The game wasn't too buggy. The only glitches I encountered were with the enemy AI or some animations getting stuck. I will have a small complaint about the level design, and that's there were a few times where I thought certain things I needed just didn't spawn into the level, when in reality I was just being an idiot, but there was no real indication to show that this is what I needed to do for this certain area. So I'd just run around in circles for like 10 minutes and then realize, oh shit, I had to push this lever in between this bookcase, which feels like you shouldn't be able to get into. I'm not really going to get into it much, but the movement is pretty smooth. A lot of the animations play into each other really well, and overall, it's really clean. I could tell that there was a lot of time put into it. I can really tell the dev team put all of their efforts into this game, and it's sad to see it flop, but it's not really surprising that it did. I know why the game flopped. It's not hard to figure out at all. Have you heard of King of Meat before this video? No. I know the answer was no. If you said yes, you were either A, lying, or B, watch critical, you fucking cracker. There was no promotion behind this game. The only way I found out about it was through the PlayStation New Games page, nested between a shit ton of AI slop. From my research and what I've seen, the only real promotion behind this game was a MrBeast video on his gaming channel. I'm not gonna watch that video because I'm above the age of 9, but I'm sure it's a real hoot and holler. The video had a few million views with a lot of positive comments towards the game. It's weird that people were looking so forward to this game, but it still flopped. Mostly due to the fact that they had no idea that it was even out. Now, I do truly believe that if the game had more promotion through YouTube ads or like paid videos or streams by content creators, it would have built such a big hype train behind it. It's a good game, great gameplay, nice visuals. It's kind of corporate, but it's cool. And the game is just full of these like amazing animated segments and commercials. It's got a great presentation. It's good. It's a well-rounded, very polished product. It just didn't have the promotion it needed. I couldn't find a proper number on how much it cost to make King of Schmeat, but I could assume it was a pretty penny. I don't understand Amazon's goal of wanting to reach 100k players on a game that they had no intent to promote at all, and only ended up reaching a few hundred players during a free weekend. That's how you know you messed up. I think the game should have went free to play. I know there's a bad stigma behind free to play, but I think there's a good reason that they should have done it. It already kind of has a free to play live service vibe to it already, and I think free to play would automatically get you at least a few thousand returning players. I know my friends. They are broke. And my broke friends love their free games. And one that actually encourages PvE squad play would be great in friend groups. I wouldn't even be surprised if they go down this route as a Hail Mary in the next couple months. It's Amazon's first attempt at a full-out game. No one wants to go out and spend $50 on a game from a publisher that has no track record in this industry. I don't really have much else to say. I really wish I did, but I just don't have the words to describe it. Everything just kind of works for me personally. It's stupid quick fun. I recommend the game, if it isn't clear. I think it's extremely fun and probably gets even better with friends. I'd say cop it when it goes on sale though. I got it for a crisp $16 on Steam, but I would never pay the $40 price tag. I'm Canadian by the way, so I have no clue how much it is in the States, but it's still not worth it. Play it. That's what it comes down to, if it's on sale. You might even catch me in a game because I do still plan to play it somewhat consistently after this video is published. So if you hop into a game with Richard Nixon, you're in a game with the big Q. Final conclusion here, I do think the game deserves to be bigger than it actually was, but I understand why it wasn't. Yeah, that's all I got for this video. I know it wasn't as in-depth as my other couple of videos, but hey, I really wanted to put this game onto you guys' radar, because I really love it. Got some more reviews coming soon, some on some real older games, and a couple on some underrated gems from the past few years. I think you fellas or fillettes will enjoy. Fillettes is female for fellas, by the way. I got the rest of the week off because I'm done all my exams. Let's fucking go. So we're actually aiming for 2 videos this week. Yeah. No promises because I still gotta play through some games, but until next time, peace.